What's up, YouTube? My name is Mike Sherm, also known as Mystic Mike, the astrologer, and I wanted to do a video. I wanted to do a beginner's video on the basics of astrology. It's a lot of people that's interested in the subject. I see a lot of people on Facebook posting different things about astrology signs, and I just wanted to give a more in-depth understanding of it. So for all of those who are interested, over the next few weeks or however long I decide to do this, I'll be basically teaching the basics of astrology. I'll be going through the planets, I'll be going through the signs, I'll be going through the houses, and I'll be going over the aspects of astrology. I hope you enjoy it, and this is something for those genuinely interested in the subject. So as you know, the sun is in a specific part of the zodiac at any given time. So let's say, for example, today, this is the 5th of March. So the sun is approximately 15 degrees Pisces. And in about another 15 days, the sun will be moving into Aries, and it'll be starting a whole new cycle. So anybody who's born while the sun is in Pisces, that will be what we call your sun sign, according to your birthday. But what a lot of people don't know is there's actually 10 planets in astrology. And each planet represents a different part of your inner self, of your personality, of a part of your experience. So with the sun basically represents that's your soul, that's your most inner expression of your being, your spirit, and your drive in this current incarnation of your life. And so the sun in astrology is real strong, and that's why a lot of people identify with it. But there's also a lot of people who feel like they don't fit the description of their sun sign at all, and that's why a lot of people are skeptical of astrology, because they've read it over and over, and they literally like, this sounds nothing at all like me. And it's a reason for that, because you have a lot of different planets, like I was saying a minute ago, that gives a part of your personality. Now you might have for example, a sun in Leo, but you could have other planets in other signs. You can have multiple planets in one different sign, and that one sign might, it could in a way overpower the influence of your sun sign. For example, my daughter is a Leo, but she has 4 planets in Virgo. You know what I mean? And the sun is the only planet she has in Leo. And so you can see how, once I begin to explain what these other planets represent, how a person can have a dominant force in another area of their birth chart, or what we call the horoscope. Alright, so we're going to go over here to the planets, and I'll begin to explain what each one is and give some examples of what they mean. Alright, so we went over what the sun represents. Now the ascendant, or what we call in astrology the rising sign, that basically represents the mask that you wear to the world, or to give a better description, like that's the personality that you show to people upon them first meeting you, like before they really get a chance to know who you are. You have a sign that's called an ascendant in astrology, and that's based on your time of birth. So you can be like a Aries sun, born in March or April, but according to what time you were born, you can have a totally different rising sign. So you might come off as, with a totally different energy. You might not really seem like other people to be an Aries at all. You know what I mean? So like you can be a Pisces ascendant, and Pisces is a more laid back energy than Aries. That's a fire sign. So Aries is a lot more energetic upon first meeting them. And so, this is how you can start to begin to see why people have conflicting signs. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people won't really be able to recognize your sign. Okay, so the moon in astrology basically represents your emotions and your immediate reactions and responses to everyday situations in life. And the moon in astrology also represents your needs, what you need to feel safe, what you need to feel comfortable and secure. Um, so if you have, let's say, if your moon sign is Gemini, okay, if you have a moon in Gemini, you might always have a need or urge to want to communicate with other people, being that Gemini is an air sign, and air, the element of air in astrology, deals with communication. So if you have let's say if you have a moon in Aries, for example, that's my moon sign. Um, you might you might have quicker responses, in emotional matters. You know what I mean? Like you won't really think before you react, unless you have other energies or other planets in your horoscope that contradicts that. That's pretty much how you'll respond. You will be very impulsive and just act on instinct, because that's how Aries is as the first sign of the zodiac. It just heads straight forward, you know what I mean, into situations in life. And so that's how the moon works in astrology. If you have a moon in Cancer, you'll always approach everything from an emotional standpoint. You'll always enter into a situation based on how you feel. You won't intellectualize a situation. You won't really give it a whole lot of thought, like another more introspective sign would. Like if your moon was in Virgo, for example, that would be different. But with a moon in Cancer, you will always approach it on how you feel, and try to understand the feelings of the other person, because the moon is your responses. Cancer is a feeling sign. It's a very emotional energy. It's a very subtle energy too, and it's psychic, and it picks up the stimulus around it. So that's how you will respond with the moon in Cancer. The next planet we have is Mercury. In astrology, Mercury represents the way you communicate, the way you process information, and the way you give off information. So let's say, for example, if you have if your moon sign is Libra, if you have a if you have a Mercury in the sign of Libra, if you have Mercury in Libra, then you will be more diplomatic. That would be the way you think. Like you always looking to balance the information, because Libra is a sign of balancing the scales, peace and harmony. And so Libra is always able to see both sides of the issue. See both sides of whatever is going on. And so you'll be more diplomatic with the way you think. The next planet is Venus in astrology. Venus is your love nature. What kind of partner draws and attracts you? In a woman's chart, Venus represents what kind of man that she'll be drawn or attracted to. Venus also represents what you like to do for pleasure, what you like to do for creativity, the creative urge. And we know Venus is the goddess of beauty, the goddess of love. And so all of those things fall under Venus. So wherever you have Venus at in your horoscope, again, which is another part of your personality, that will represent what you do for those parts of your life, your love and your pleasure, your partner. So if you have, let's say, Venus in Scorpio, you might attract a partner who's very passionate. They might also be secretive. You know what I mean? Because those are some of the traits of the planet Scorpio. You could be kind of controlling and domineering as well. You know what I mean? And so you begin to see how you can have multiple planets in different signs in your horoscope. I'm gonna give you a quick example. Like this is my birth chart, or my horoscope right here, and this is how it looks. And you can see the different planets. These are the symbols for the planets, and they fall in different houses. These pie-shaped segments are called houses, and the houses represent a different area of your life, and I'll get into that in another video. But you can see how they spread it around, but some of them is clustered together. Like I have 4 planets in Libra, so even though I'm a Virgo by sun, I have a lot of Libra energy. Libra, the sign of the peacemaker, you know what I mean, being real laid back. And that's how I've always been, and that's something I can't help, because the You know, it always tell the story in your horoscope. I also have a lot of energy in the sign of Scorpio, so I feel those energies strongly and resonate with them. The next planet is Mars. Mars in astrology represents your energy, your drive, and your passions. Um, it also represents how you respond. Like, are you a fighter? How do you respond in situations that might cause you to be kind of hostile? You know what I mean? Will you approach the situation more laid back? Like, let's say a Mars and Taurus would. You know, they will kind of take the more laid back approach. It might be slower to react, but let's say a Mars and Aries will be going head first, or Mars and Sagittarius for that matter. You know, they might be ready for the battle if push come to shove. You know, so you always look at the sign. The planets represents the energies. The signs represents the style that the energies will play out in, and then the houses represent the area of life that these energies play out in a person's life. So you got planets, you got signs, and you got houses. Again, planets are the energies at work. The signs are the style that the energies work in. Then the houses are the areas of life that they manifest in. All right. So if you have like Mars and Capricorn, you can have good organizing ability. You can be a good leader of other people, because Capricorn is very good at you know, organization. It's a cardinal sign, so it's a it's a sign of a leader. You know, and people trust Capricorns because they show a lot of strength. And so that's Mars in your horoscope. Wherever you find Mars at, that's where you will put a lot of your energy in your life, in your horoscope, whatever house it falls in. The next planet in astrology is Jupiter. Jupiter represents your luck. It represents where you like to grow, where you'll be best able to grow and expand your horizons in your life. So if you have Jupiter in, let's say Jupiter in Gemini, you probably can grow through writing or communicating. Maybe be like a radio broadcaster, or somebody who writes novels or something like that. If you have if you have Jupiter in Aries, you know, maybe you can be somebody who's into sports, you know, or something that requires a lot of physical energy or physical work. Just stepping out there and being a leader, because that's what Aries is all about. And so that's Jupiter. Now Saturn in the horoscope represents where you will face some kind of limitations in your life, and restrictions. Saturn in the horoscope is where you'll usually be tested. So whatever sign you have Saturn in your horoscope, that's where you will have some kind of difficulties, and you will have some lessons to learn, you know, through the planet of Saturn. The planet Uranus in the horoscope, that basically represents your urge to break free from the norms of society. You know what I mean? Like, it's where you are original, where you break free from what everybody else, you know, thinks you're supposed to be doing. To sum it up in a nutshell, it's a very erratic and eccentric energy as well. So if you have let's say Uranus in the 7th house in your horoscope, you might attract partners you know, that's eccentric. You know what I mean? That's kind of rebellious, because it's a rebellious energy as well. It doesn't like to or try to fit in to please nobody, and so that's where you would look at to find that in your horoscope. The next planet is Neptune. Neptune in the horoscope represents spirituality. Also, it can represent where you like to merge with the divine energy, or merge with God. Neptune also represents illusions and where you can be deceived at. So you can always look there to find those things in the horoscope, which sign and which house it's in. And Pluto represents transformation and rebirth in the horoscope. So those are the 10 planets in astrology. These symbols are the glyphs in astrology. You might, if you want to get into astrology, you might want to memorize those glyphs in order to be able to properly read a birth chart or horoscope. And then you have the North Node and the South Node. The North Node represents your purpose in life, where you should be headed, and what traits you need to develop in order to take your soul evolution to the next level. The South Node represents the traits that you already mastered in a past life or either earlier in this life, and so those traits come natural to you. So you probably automatically gravitate to doing those without even trying. So you need to kind of give those up and try to focus on the traits of the North Node, and they always be opposite of each other on the zodiac wheel. If you have North Node in Capricorn, then the South Node will be opposite in the sign of Cancer at whatever degree. If it's 16 degrees Capricorn for the North, it'll be 16 degrees Cancer for the South, and it always will work like that. So this was a quick video. Well, it wasn't that quick. I tried to get it done quicker than that, but it's so much information to give, and I'll also be doing another follow-up video breaking down the houses a little bit more, since I didn't get to do that. But here are some tools right here, like zodiac planet, sign, and house cards. I got these. These was a good tool that I got to help memorize some of the keywords. And as you can see, like the moon, and it describes what the moon represents. In Scorpio, describe what Scorpio represents in the 7th house. So you can get these and begin to look over them and study them, and it really helps out a lot if you want to learn. If you're a beginner in astrology, and it does take a lot of time, but I think it's really worth it. The reward is good because you finally begin to understand your life and your life purpose and what you're supposed to be doing, and you get answers to why your life is the way it is, because it can all be found in the wheel. This is another tool. This is a zodiac wheel right here, and it has the planet signs and houses on it. You just turn it to whatever energy you want to study. Like you could say Saturn in Gemini, then you can turn it again 8th house, and then you can read the description of it. So you can go to astro.com and get your horoscope, which is your birth chart. Again, like I showed you mine, it'll look something like this, and then you'll get to see all of your planets and what signs your planets is in. What you can know if you're compatible with other people in a relationship by studying the position of the planets. It's more than just the sun too. You might be a Pisces, and you might want to know if you're compatible with a Leo, but it's more to it than that, because the moon represents what kind of woman a man will be drawn to. It represents women. The sun represents men for women. So men and women can look at that, and then Venus represents the type of woman a man be drawn to, and then Mars represents the type of man that a woman will be attracted to. So you look at the Venus and Mars positions, and you look at the sun and the moon. Those is 4 places you can look for compatibility. And also the 7th house as well, the house of Libra, represents partnerships and marriages. So those is some things that you can look at if you into compatibility and you want to know about another person. So that was my intro video for this astrology channel. Again, my name is Mike Shern, known as Mystic Mike, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.